Hi everyone, Derived Energy here. I thought a good idea for this video would be to read out what I've been posting recently in a philosophy forum. This is on the UK debate forum in the ethics and philosophy section, so you can have a look at it if you so desire. So without further ado, I'm going to read through, and I think this is quite an expansion on what I've been saying so far, so I hope that this is interesting to you and thought-provoking. Okay, so I opened up the thread with, "Hi everyone, check out my 4-minute video entitled Zagreb Needs Your Help." And I recommend everybody watch that 4-minute video before they watch this video. First response: "What have you been drinking, naughty boy? Mine's a brandy, good for derived energy," which is, I suppose, a humorous response, but it's not really addressing the philosophy here. One of my opponents, she says, "Leave the idiot to square his triangle. That's about his level of thinking. Should keep him occupied for some time." So again, just avoidance, just moving down a bit. I come up with a conclusion to provoke and to initiate a consideration of the issues that I'm trying to hammer home here. And I said, and this is actually on my homepage as well, "I've read my David Hume and I understand the need for caution when making profound statements on human existence. But there's only one possible conclusion that can be made here. The world at large is utterly enslaved and engripped by an even more horrifically insidious and pernicious meme than organised religion that makes the witch-burning craze during the Middle Ages seem like a trivial little hiccup in mankind's uniformly repugnant and madness-infested past. Conclusion: procreation is a selfish and aggressive act which is always rooted in the interests of the mother and father or in the interests of a wider social context. It can never be in the interests of the person you are bringing into existence, and anyone who makes such a blatantly absurd claim is insulting my intelligence." A response here: "I'm right, derived energy is right, procreation is a selfish act that people do to give meaning to their short lives, a sort of attempt to survive death through giving life to their offspring." Another response: "Yes, it does seem to be a natural," he emphasises that, natural thing to do, "or do you think that the last million years was an accident?" So here we've got this kind of concept of justifying all this absolutely pointless suffering because it's natural. But as Amendum has been at pains to point out, just because it's natural, it doesn't mean that we can't use our intellect and our compassion and our altruism and our empathy to do, something that at the end of the day would be in all our interests, but to wit, a voluntary discontinuation of the human race movement. I go on here, and this relates to the philosophy forum that I recently got banned from, and I think it was quite gratifying to be banned, actually, because in a way it's like a tacit concession from the philosophy forum that they just can't handle my arguments. Okay, I'll read this out. I posted my aforementioned video on www.forums philosophy forums and then invited posters to debate with me about the ethics of bringing new life into the world. My thread was removed by a moderator about 36 hours later. Here are some of the most revealing parts of the debate. Me. Watch this 4-minute clip on YouTube and then stop wasting your time debating this and try to think about what we're going to do to clean up this horrid, pointless and monstrous thing known as the human condition. Opponent 1. I don't get it. If Zargarth or whatever can be amused with something as pointless as searching for a square circle, pointless video, he concludes. Opponent 2. Failed? Lies and self-deception? Where have I lied? I just said people enjoy making and raising babies. There is aeons of human practice to support that assertion. So where did I lie and where did I deceive myself? This video is pointless. So we have the first two people who I spoke to in this debate using the word pointless three times between them, when in my opening statement about the human condition I define the human condition as pointless. I mean, it's quite evident to me at least that this is a blatant example of projection. They're projecting the word pointless onto the video when in their unconscious mind they're fully aware. Well, they're aware in that the information is actually in there in their psyche, that they know, although not on a conscious level, they know that the human condition is pointless, and all this pain and suffering and cycle of death and destruction is serving absolutely no useful function whatsoever. So this is a post I'm going to read, and this is the one that Benki, one of the moderators, who I'm going to make like a text video of my debate with him, because I think it's quite revealing. He actually strategically removed this post from the thread during the debate, which I had made directly after quoting case 2 quote above. Okay, I said, unfortunately for you, I studied psychology for 3 years and wrote my dissertation employing the use of discourse analysis. I see right through you. Okay. Then we get a response from someone. You continue to avoid or dismiss one crucial factor, and that is the antinatalist argument is strictly a logical argument which will never really work in practice given human nature, and if taken beyond the academic debate to within the realms of feasibility, it is a total waste of time. So, I mean, I'd appreciate a little bit of intellectual honesty here. I think it would be more noble of him if he just said flat out, you are correct in principle 100%. Now he's trying to bring in this it's just not feasible, we'll just reject it out of hand before we even, do any kind of research into how people respond or react to, this philosophy. I just think it's a really defeatist attitude. And I think that we owe it to the people who will be born in the future to at least give this a go. I mean, I'll elaborate on this further, but let's move on. I told him that your kind of apathy is something that is going to need to be addressed if humanity ever has any chance of enacting out the wisest and most compassionate act of all. And this person had originally posted, how can it be better to be a non-existent person, as there's no such thing as a non-existent person? And I said, fearful little creature shielding themselves from the truth. Okay, I'll move on to the next page. Here someone says, they quote one of my quotes, and they say, what a pity your parents weren't wiser and more compassionate. So we've got like a kind of nasty ad hominem attack there, to which I replied displacement, defense mechanism that shifts sexual or aggressive impulses to a more acceptable or less threatening target, redirecting emotion to a safer outlet. Separation of emotion from its real object and redirection of the intense emotion towards someone or something that is less offensive or threatening, in order to avoid dealing directly with what is frightening or threatening. Just moving on. Just a few more snide comments. This logic is sound, and as an argument from logic it is quite engaging. It could be said that it is logic taken to its ultimate conclusion, and could even be used as an argument against a principle that is based only on logic. And I thought that was quite a perceptive remark actually, and I acknowledge that. But I said it's an astute reply. But I said my only disagreement is about the quite engaging part. I said that's the way I might describe a pleasant, amusing fellow I met in a pub, not the Benatarian asymmetry. He says every organism's primary function is to procreate. It is built into our nature. We are driven by the evolutionary need to perpetuate the species. What it is not most definitely not is apathy. And I say, okay, conceded, but it must be treated as if it were apathy. That way there is a chance that people will begin to shake off the delusion that they are in when they regard begetting children as somehow bestowing a gift upon their children, when all they've really done is expose them to harm and injected them with a need to constantly seek ways of alleviating their deprivation of pleasant mental states. Would-be parents could be shamed into seeing the error of their thought processes. Young people could be exposed to antinatalism ideas and actually educated about such things. A movie wouldn't do any harm either. These are just tentative ideas, you understand, but at least it's trying to do something instead of just perpetuating this false consciousness that somehow the human race is actually achieving anything here that could even vaguely compensate for the suffering of that one little boy in my video, let alone the millions of people in human history who have experienced absolute horror and suffering and pain, and who will continue to do so into the indefinite future if people's irrational and illogical views towards creating new life are left unchallenged. Watch my video again, I say. If you were a god and you were considering whether to populate the planet Eartho with billions of joyous people, would you go ahead and create all those people if you had to throw that one little boy into the hands of Freddy Krueger? No, of course not. The even idea of it is utterly repugnant unless you are a moral nihilist or otherwise some kind of twisted and sadistic positive utilitarian. This clearly shows, therefore, that the concept of creating new life so that it can experience happiness is a contrived act, because the moment you introduce any significant harm to even one person in order to create that scenario, the utter meaninglessness of creating all those happy people is rammed right in front of your face. If you knew what would happen if the human race got kick-started, would anyone here in good conscience press the green button to start the thing off, or would you press the red button to keep the way things the way they were without any human life on this planet? The thirst thought experiment, the one in my video, illuminates the immorality of bringing a species into existence to enjoy bliss at the expense of even one little boy. How much more regretful then should we feel that this world became heavily populated with 7 billion people, and you can't say that all of them are ecstatically happy to be alive, and a large number would say that they were harmed by being brought into existence, judging by the million people a year or so who commit suicide every year. Now can you change your quite engaging phrase, please? Okay, I'm going to end the video there, but I will make another video soon. Bye for now. If I can... turn this thing off.